Hello and welcome to a new episode of Other Record Labels. I'm your host, Scott Orr. Thank you so much for listening in. I don't know when you do listen to this episode. I don't know if you listen to these episodes in real time. And by that, I mean, the day or the week when the episode comes out. Do you listen to the episode or are you working through these episodes a few years behind? Or do you just wait until you need to fall asleep and then you listen to one of these episodes? I'm not sure. But today I'm kind of talking about something that's relevant to when this episode comes out, which is in the month of December. And I want to talk about how to plan your entire year. Now, I will say, though, depending on when you're listening to this, the tips that I'm going to give you today are relevant for any part of the year. And there's no harm in planning your year in the summer or starting in the fall to plan the next year. Or if you're listening to this at the beginning of a new year, it's not too late to begin planning that year. Either way, I think what I want to talk about is stopping for a day or however long it takes, and planning out your entire year from a promotional standpoint. Now, this isn't entirely about your releases and planning your releases, but if you can plan your releases for an entire year, good for you. And we all do that as best as we can, but there are things that come up, obviously. First of all, thank you for listening. Go to our website, otherrecordlabels.com. We have a litany of resources and more are coming for record labels. You can check out our marketing course there. But please go to otherrecordlabels.com and to grab a couple resources if you haven't already. So let's talk about planning your entire year. So first of all, if you're listening to this in December, it's a great time to plan out the following year because a new year is a new start. It's a great way to introduce something new. And it's a good way to look back at the end of that year and say, okay, we did this for 12 months. How did it work? December's a great time to plan for the next year too, because it is kind of a downtime. There's not a lot of releases coming out. It's a lot of like recapping the year. And then you've got some time off work, hopefully, and some downtime with your family or on your own to relax and to think and strategize for the next year. But if you're listening to this or you kind of come up with this idea and you're ready to implement it later in the year, that's okay. There are other times in the year that act as like a new year. September is kind of a new year in the music landscape and in the entertainment world. The beginning of the summer could be a way, or spring, it can be a new time to start something new. What I want to talk about is this idea where we assign a theme, a promotional theme to each month. So basically, we're going to say for the month of January, we are going to promote this one thing. Now, this doesn't have to be a public thing. You don't have to announce this from a public level. It can be just internally, but this is a great way to help you stay on task, stay on topic, to have your whole team and all the artists on your label work together towards one goal. The other thing is it can help you with that dilemma of where we're like, okay, we got a YouTube channel, but what do we post on YouTube? We got a mailing list, but what do I mail the people this month? I don't know what to talk about. We've got social media, but I don't know what to post on social media. So we have all of these things. And I think when we come up with a promotional strategy for each month and we plan it ahead so we know what we're to be talking about, we can then gather some content and some resources to post and to talk about in that month. So for example, let's say you dedicate a month to let's do a simple one, like a sale. So the month of December or the month of November, you could dedicate to a year-end sale. Everything in your store is 30% off, and so all month long, you're talking about that artist, your artists on the label are sharing about that sale. It's a big theme. Another month could be your anniversary. Maybe it's your birthday month, or you're celebrating your 10-year anniversary or 5-year anniversary. Everything you post about that month, not everything, but can be centered around that theme. You can update the graphics on your social media and on your website to represent that theme. You can have a coupon code for that theme. Maybe another month is a social justice issue, a charity that's really important to your label, and you're going to focus that whole month on bringing attention to that social justice. It doesn't have to be a revenue generating promotion. It doesn't have to be a sale or anything, but you can just be raising money or just be raising awareness for a certain cause that you and your artists are passionate about. You could do dedicate an entire month to an artist. So let's say, in June, a certain artist on your label is coming out with a new release. So that month is going to be all about that artist, doing a history of that artist, talking about that artist's back catalog, and celebrating their singles and the new release for that album. This is something I suggest that if you have the luxury of some time in December or whenever you want to do this, write out all the months and to assign a theme. Now, it can be flexible, but to assign a theme and say, okay, listen, in the month of August, we have no releases coming out, so let's make that month about our back catalog, where we celebrate all of the records that we've released previously, and we spend every day or a couple times a week, we post about our back catalog. And again, you don't need to share this with the public if you don't want to. If it's a social justice issue or a new release, of course you're going to share it with the public. But if you're just saying this month we're dedicating to our back catalog, or maybe this month we're dedicating to uplifting other record labels, or we're uplifting other artists that we admire and are inspired by. And so we can spend time doing that. So that's what I would encourage you is to think through 12 different themes. Now, listen, maybe you can't do monthly, maybe you do quarterly. If it's quarterly, I'm not sure it's going to be that effective. And if it's weekly, gosh, it's not going to be sustainable unless you're a huge label with tons of people to help you out. So I think monthly is something that's good that you can stick to. I think there's a benefit to this because it's ultimately going to make our job easier. It's going to be a lot of work on one day, but for the rest of the year, it's going to be pretty easy knowing, listen, September, we're doing this huge focus on college radio because it's back to school, and it's going to be all about our local college or our local community, and we're going to do an event to celebrate that. And I really just think it can help make your job a lot easier. And I think that your fans are going to really appreciate your consistency and your dedication to a certain theme that you're promoting. So listen, let me know if you do something like this already. Let me know if you think this is a stupid idea. You can email me at podcast@otherrecordlabels.com, and you can say, Scott, I really don't like this idea. I'm not going to do it. You're dumb. You can email me that if you want. I will let you know that will make me cry. So just be warned, if you want to make me cry, then send that email. But no, I'm serious. If you watch this on YouTube, leave a comment. Let me know if you do something like this or what you think about this idea, or if you have a way that you can make it better. I'm really curious. I think there is something beneficial about being strategic about our marketing. And for the end of this year, we've been talking a lot about marketing. By the way, if you want some other things that I do to market new releases, you can get a copy of my marketing checklist by going to otherrecordlabels.com/marketing. Let me know what you think about this 12-month promotional strategy. If it works for you, if you have ways you think it could be better, or if you've already been doing it, please let me know. Thanks for listening.